Brad Pitt and Ines de Ramon aren't hiding anymore. After years of public silence and quiet dinners away from flashing cameras, the two are now stepping right into the spotlight, and not just for show. This isn't just a celebrity couple going public. It's a calculated move following years of silence, legal battles, and emotional scars that Brad Pitt has finally decided to close the door on. But why now? Why are Brad and Ines suddenly everywhere, walking red carpets, smiling for cameras, and acting more like a power couple than just a private pair? It starts with the final nail in the coffin. Brad Pitt's divorce from Angelina Jolie was officially finalized in December 2024 after nearly 8 years of emotional warfare, courtroom drama, custody battles, and business disputes. It was Ines de Ramon who reportedly told him to end it once and for all, and he listened. The moment that legal signature hit the paper, everything changed. Within weeks, the couple went from private outings to attending high-profile events like the Venice Film Festival and the British Grand Prix. But it wasn't just red carpets, it was everything. The looks, the body language, the intentional matching outfits, Ines adjusting Brad's scarf on camera. These weren't accidents, they were moves. The media storm began when fans noticed something different. Brad wasn't just smiling, he looked grounded, calmer, like he wasn't hiding anymore. Paparazzi shots stopped feeling like invasions and started to feel like announcements. This wasn't Pitt being caught off guard. This was Pitt announcing something. He's finally moved on. Ines de Ramon, who separated from Paul Wesley in 2022, has slowly become more than just the mystery woman at Brad's side. She moved into his California home in early 2024, and insiders say she's been instrumental in helping Brad navigate his post-divorce life. Friends of the actor describe her as stabilizing, grounded, and zero drama. She's not trying to be famous. She's not pulling the strings. She's just there, calmly, consistently, but that consistency came with some pressure. According to sources close to the couple, it was Ines who urged Brad to finally end the Jolie divorce. She made it clear she didn't want to start a future with a man still locked in a legal tug-of-war with his ex, and Brad, who spent years being emotionally torn between love, kids, and headlines, finally chose peace. The divorce closed, his public persona opened. Red carpets weren't the only signals. Rumors swirled that Brad popped the question before heading to a film shoot in New Zealand. Though no official confirmation has come, insiders claim the couple is planning something quiet and church-based, possibly later this year. But there's hesitation on one front: the kids. Brad is reportedly cautious about introducing Ines to his children, understanding that any move involving them will be watched, analyzed, and criticized by media and fans alike. Still, the signals are loud. At the F1 movie premieres in both New York City and London, Brad and Ines looked every bit like a couple making a statement. From hand-holding to shared laughs to private moments captured by cameras, everything screamed, "This is real." Even George and Amal Clooney were spotted at the Venice Film Festival with them, clearly a sign that Pitt's close circle is on board. What's also interesting is Brad's own admission. Speaking to GQ, he said that stepping out publicly wasn't some media strategy, it was just where life had naturally brought them. But anyone watching closely knows it wasn't that simple. After spending years dodging attention, this sudden openness is anything but unintentional. Another layer to this story is how Brad's public appearances have changed. He's not just showing up anymore, he's engaged, present, smiling without the tension, and sources say that's directly tied to Ines. She's reportedly given him emotional grounding and pushed him to close old chapters so new ones could begin. What's even more intriguing is the behind-the-scenes buzz. Sources close to the couple say Ines doesn't want to be a celebrity. She's not pushing for magazine covers or brand deals. She's private, reserved, and doesn't even post publicly about their relationship. That in itself might be the reason why Brad's letting her in. He's been burned before, and after years of high-profile heartbreak, legal drama, and public scrutiny, he's finally found someone who doesn't want the chaos. The ongoing drama with Angelina Jolie isn't fully over. There's still a battle over their shared winery, Chateau Miraval. Legal motions are still being filed, and the tension around business assets continues, but Brad seems to have compartmentalized it. His public life no longer feels shaped by that battle. It feels led by his own choices, and those choices now clearly include Ines. So when you see Brad and Ines stepping out in Venice, smiling at premieres or catching private private moments during after-parties. No, it's not just paparazzi fodder. It's a message. Brad is done hiding, and Ines, she might be the reason he's finally able to say that. From private lunches to public declarations, this relationship is moving with intent. While we may not get a wedding announcement tomorrow or Instagram posts anytime soon, everything they've done in the last few months points to one thing: this is serious. Brad's done with drama, he's done with legal wars, he's done with looking back, and now with Ines, he's finally choosing a future he actually wants to live out loud. It's not often that Brad Pitt goes public with a relationship, especially not with the kind of subtlety he once preferred post-divorce, but recently that narrative has shifted since 2022. Whispers surrounding his relationship with Ines de Ramon, a jewelry executive who was previously married to Vampire Diaries star Paul Wesley, have transitioned from quiet background noise to front-page headlines. What's changed? Why are they suddenly flaunting this romance now after years of staying low-key, especially in the shadow of Pitt's explosive divorce battle with Angelina Jolie? The change began subtly. Paparazzi photos would catch Brad and Ines attending the same events or leaving venues minutes apart. Nothing too obvious, but enough to ignite speculation. At the time, Brad was still navigating one of the most bitter custody and legal battles Hollywood had witnessed in years. The public war with Angelina wasn't just personal, it was public relations warfare. Brad's image, carefully constructed over decades, took multiple hits. So did his ability to appear vulnerable or happy without drawing backlash. Now the mask seems to be slipping in a calculated way. Earlier this year, Brad and Ines were seen vacationing in Cabo, laughing, touching, and walking hand in hand. Then came the appearances at art events, mutual friend gatherings, and even a few date nights in Los Angeles. These weren't accidental leaks or secretive escapes. They were deliberate, if understated, presentations. The couple wasn't just being caught, they were being seen. And there's a massive difference. The turning point, according to sources close to the couple, came when Brad realized that keeping the relationship hidden only fed into narratives he no longer wanted to entertain. Constantly being associated with his messy past, especially the allegations and drama from the Jolie divorce, meant that any silence or secrecy was interpreted as guilt or damage control. Going public with Ines, smiling, confident, stable, was a way of flipping the script. Ines, for her part, has been described as grounded, private, and incredibly supportive. She's not a celebrity chasing fame. She runs in elite circles but doesn't crave the spotlight. That balance was reportedly key in helping Brad decide that now was the time to stop hiding. According to insiders, she's been a source of peace and balance in Brad's life, a sharp contrast to the turbulence of his previous marriage. Sources also claim that Ines has encouraged Brad to reconnect with his passion for art, architecture, and design. The two have been seen attending gallery openings and exhibitions, bonding over a shared appreciation for creativity and aesthetics. For Brad, who spent years rebuilding his life post-divorce, Ines represents stability without stagnation, something new without being chaotic. But why now? Why the sudden shift from near anonymity to date nights in front of flashing cameras? Timing is everything. Brad's divorce from Angelina Jolie has dragged on since 2016 with legal battles over their shared winery, custody of their children, and various financial disputes still making headlines. But in the past year, some of that tension has cooled, at least publicly. With fewer fresh accusations and a bit of breathing room, Brad appears to be using this window to reshape the narrative. Make no mistake, this is a narrative shift. This isn't just about love, it's about image, timing, and maybe even damage control. Hollywood relationships are rarely just romantic, they're strategic. Brad going public with Ines now sends a message not just to fans, but to Hollywood insiders, the media, and even his ex-wife. The pair's most public moment yet came at the 2024 Vanity Fair Oscar party. They didn't walk the red carpet together, but they arrived and left as a couple, interacting with friends and insiders in full view of the media. Photos showed them laughing, whispering, and staying close all night. Insiders at the party said they were completely inseparable, with Brad visibly relaxed, a rare look for someone who's spent the last decade under intense public scrutiny. Behind the scenes, friends of Brad say that he's finally feeling like he's out of the fog. For years, every move he made was filtered through the lens of his contentious split with Angelina. Even his acting choices were dissected for hidden meanings or statements. But with Ines, the vibe is different. She's not from the Hollywood chaos machine. She's not an actress. She's not chasing relevance. That neutrality has given Brad the space to just exist. Insiders have pointed out that Ines didn't try to rush the spotlight either. She's been measured in how she navigated their early dating phase, often making herself scarce during peak media frenzies. That kind of calculated distance mixed with personal support helped ease Brad into this next phase of openness. There's also the reality that the public has changed. Hollywood isn't what it was in 2016. There's less appetite for cancel culture, pile-ons without receipts, and audiences are more willing to move on if given a reason. Brad, by soft launching his relationship and then gradually increasing visibility, seems to be banking on that shift. He's trying to prove visually and emotionally that he's no longer the man people dissected and criticized during the divorce peak years. Not everyone's buying it, though. Critics argue that Brad's public romance is too polished, too convenient. They question the motives behind the timing, right as his reputation begins to bounce back and film roles become more prestigious again. Others wonder if this newfound happiness is sustainable, or if it's just another Hollywood act playing out under the guise of personal redemption. Still, for now, Brad and Ines are leaning in. Whether it's a strategic maneuver or genuine progression, the result is the same. They're out there unapologetically, and in a media ecosystem where perception shapes reality, sometimes that's all it takes to shift the headlines.